Karen from Waterfall Acrylics. Welcome to Studio 205. I've already been foiled on my very first attempt. I walked into my studio today like, I got this new studio. I'm going to go big. We're going to do something amazing. I'm going to get out, larger canvases. And the first thing that happened was I realized my hair dryer won't reach a big canvas because the cord is only so long, and I needed to go up to Home Depot and buy like a 6-foot extension cord so I can get around my island. So already was, stymied right out of the gate. So I'm going to do something small and do a couple little clocks for you guys. I need one for my studio, and I'll make one to sell. These are clocks that I got from Ikea. I showed them in the studio tour video, and we're just gonna have to go small to start. So let me get you down. All right, guys, so these are called the tennis clocks from Ikea. They're plastic. I've already taken one apart completely. I'll show you how I do that, and then I'm gonna tape up the back side of this part here, or maybe not. I'm debating. I might not tape because I don't want to cover up the letters. Maybe a thin line of frog's tape around this edge. But let me show you how you take them apart, because it does come with all the hardware and everything. And it's relatively simple. You just pop off the second hand, just go straight up. It'll be stubborn, but they do just pop off. You have to grab it by the middle and wiggle. She says the other one just popped right off. This one is like, nuh-uh. Yeah, I know you're filming, so let's be difficult. It is being difficult. Look at that. There it goes. Took a second. I couldn't get, I don't have fingernails. I needed a fingernail to get under there. But they do pop off. There's one. There's the second hand and the hour hand. So you take those off. You can spray paint them, do whatever, or just leave them as white. Let's put these over somewhere safe. And then the back, you take out the clock part, and it has these little clips here. So you just do this because you want to take it off, because of the mechanism to hold the hands is there. And then you do have to wiggle and jiggle this one out as well. And so now you have the clock part, and then the rest of this just lifts right off because this fits in here. And then the clock part, the clips kind of hold the whole thing together. So that's all you do. And now we have two faces we can work on. And I'm just going to, I don't think I'm going to bother with the taping on the back. I think I'll be able to clean it off. So I'm going to use my little Tracy Reed substrate holders. They're adjustable. They're on her Etsy shop. I'll put a link in the description section. I kind of love these. So we'll do that. We'll have to do that in such a way too that we are not obscuring the holes too, since you really can't use thumbtacks, or just push it in, Karen, duh, just push it in so that the holes are exposed. And then as we go along with our pour, I'll just use a skewer to clean out the numbers like this, to clean out the paint. So let me mix up my colors. Be right back. All right, guys. Full disclosure, I just scraped this guy. I did a pour, just like a flip cup. And a couple things I realized. One is, it looked kind of cool. I should have saved it before I deleted it. It kind of looked cool because the cells and everything kept dripping into the numbers because I left them open for the paint to pour. And then I decided I didn't like that look. So then I've taped up the back. And then I realized I'm going to want to pull tape before it dries, so I don't have to carve out the dry paint, because that would just be a nightmare. So how do I pull the tape while the painting is still dry and get under it. So the only thing I could come up with as a hack is when I taped, I folded like the edges over and made myself, or I'll use this one, like I made myself like little tabs so that I could get under there to pull the tape. Let's hope it works. That's like my big fear with this clock. It's like, I didn't think that through. We'll see how it goes. But that's why it's all sticking up, just so I can hopefully like reach, I should practice it maybe, is like reach under there. There's nothing to hold on to. Let's do this. Let's MacGyver this first. Let me grab my painter's tape and let's make like a loop or something. Even with, I could just have this little strip here. I'm gonna make myself, I'm just gonna like tape this down. There. This is very high tech, isn't it? And then I was thinking about like, man, I really wanted to do a big one. Too bad I don't have an extension cord, blah, blah, blah. But then it occurred to me, I don't really know how anything is going to dry here. Let me see if I have this. I'm not going to use this as my stand, but I just need like a loop or something to hold the painting. Yep, it came right out. Wow, I tried to pull tape. So I need to make this much bigger. Just something that I can grip because there's no edges to this. So I need something that I can like just hold on to while I pull tape. And then I just realized you're not going to want it to be over the other part. So when I do the next clock, I will be more thoughtful in how I lay down the tape so that I can get to this, just to hold it while I do this, right? Like I need some sort of leverage because there's nothing to grab onto. And I'm kind of worried about it. And I thought I would use like this cup so I could keep it in the middle, and that way it frees up the edges. I might just stick my finger in the hole since that's going to be covered and then pull tape. That might be the easiest. So we'll leave that loop there. This is hilarious. And see how it goes. And yeah, so I'm worried about that because I want to do the whole pour and then, you know, be able to tilt and get my design and then pull the tape. So, won't know until we try. Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, since I don't know how anything dries in my studio, I'm kind of glad it worked out that I'm doing smaller pieces because I'm going to just leave them out and like walk away, which I've never been able to do. So I'm like kind of excited, like, yep, I'm going to wipe off my spoons and leave the mess on the tarp and let everything dry, including the art, and see how it dries because, you know, I don't know about the air or the humidity or anything in my studio. So, all right, let's get started. All right, guys, I gotta tell you, it's been a rough start, but an amusing start. One, I'm waiting for my mini fridge to come back on because it seems to have a personality. Sometimes when it kicks on, it purrs and it sounds like there's a kitten in my studio. And other times it sounds like there's an owl hooting at me. Is one. Two, I wanted to use my blue water and golden color pouring medium gloss recipe, which is I just did a third of each and put it into a container. And the lid, I had to go down to the bathroom down the hall and ran this underwater, hot water, like as hot as I could stand, and the lid is stuck on, so I had to put a hole in the side of it and do a little tracheotomy so I could get the product out. And then luckily I've killed off that container. And then the other thing that happened was, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need a torch. And I was being lazy and I grabbed the first torch I saw in my closet, which is Mac Daddy here. And then I went to check out Mac Daddy, and luckily this one is just about empty. But I can't use it because it looks like I have resin underneath the starter button. So I can't press it. So I'm like, what the hell is going on today? And this is going to be really interesting with the tape. So moving on, let's talk about the colors. We have Liquitex Basics Naples Yellow Hue. We have the Amsterdam Vermilion Orange. We have Amsterdam's Greenish Blue. We have Winsor & Newton. My favorite shade of Burnt Sienna is by Winsor & Newton. That's this color here. And then we have a cup of Amsterdam Titanium White. The recipe will be in the description section, but basically it's my homemade recipe, mixed 1-to-1 ratio. And I didn't need any water for any of the colors, which was a good thing. So let me hold this while I take this down. I am going to use silicone today. And we're going to put it in all the colors except white. It's a waste to put it in white because it's the heaviest color and it just sinks anyway, so you don't have to bother. But let's just put 2 drops. I'm using my Spot On treadmill silicone. It's in my Amazon shop under paint supplies. I need to do a video of everything that's in my Amazon shop for you guys to see. If you're ever wondering about anything I use though that you see, usually your best bet is just to go into the description section and click on the link, because that's what I'm going to tell you to do. I'm going to be like, it's in my Amazon shop, because I get that a lot. Like, what's your hair dryer? What's your spinner? What's your tub? What's this? What's that? It's all there in the link. So, not stirring this too much. I don't want little million baby cells. My consistency, I'll show you with the greenish blue maybe, is it leaves a trace that lasts about, you're not going to be able to see it with that color, that lasts about 2 seconds. It sits there for about 2 seconds before it disappears. So a little on the thicker side. I don't like to see cells from the get-go, because if you lift up a cup and all you see is cells, right, it looks really cool. It makes for a great video clip, but they don't hold their shape. So we're going to just layer a cup and see what happens. Oh boy. Let's see how the tape thing goes. I'm really not nervous about the pour. I'm nervous about the clock itself. So there's the white. Let's start with, let's do complementary colors. So let's do some orange. This is 11-inch clock, so one of these little 8-inch, I think, or 9-ounce cups should do the trick. So there's the greenish blue. Let's do the Naples yellow. Hopefully I'm not asking for trouble. And then the burnt sienna. And then the turquoise green. And maybe a little baby layer on top of that. I made just enough to do 1 clock. I figured I'd change up the colors for the second one. So, what else? Do orange again. Let's do yellow. Let's change up the water a little bit. This is plenty of paint already, I can tell. And then maybe some blue on top of the yellow, just to make green. It shouldn't make too much green. Speaking of green, let's just put the turquoise green on top of it. And what haven't I hit? The burnt sienna, because they look great together. That should do it. Let me put these all in my little tray. I'm trying to, I don't know, develop good habits here that I didn't do back home because I had access to water. I had to turn around and there was my kitchen sink. And so here, like using the tray and everything for spills and whatnot, wearing gloves more often, and ready, Geronimo. Kind of worried about the stand being in the middle. We'll see. Give that a second. It's in the middle. Play the bongos. That's a requirement. And I'm just going to lift up. Ready? I'll put some on the edges here. I don't think I'll need it, but we'll do it anyway. Really pretty blending of colors. Liking that. No cells to speak of. That's good. And it shouldn't, it's going to fill up the numbers, but hopefully, you know, it won't be too bad with the tape there. So let's tilt this out first and have it run around. And then, so we're going to tilt first and then we'll torch. I kind of like that orange, that bright orange up top there. I'll try to save it. It's going to hit the paint on the edge so it shouldn't roll under itself too much. Oh, I got some cells coming up now. There's one. You're going to go away. I didn't say you could be there. And then, no, there's some green that wants to come off. Let me put him, have him drip off. And then we'll wiggle our way to me at 6 o'clock. I'm going to leave some paint on here so that I have, you know, I can play with the composition after I torch. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Oh, look at the cells already though. Honestly, like this, I have a bunch of bubbles, so I feel like I'm forced to torch. That's what happens when you make, that's the downfall of making up fresh paint right from the get-go and then having bubbles. Whereas if you mix it up and leave it sit overnight, that might have been really clear. So let's, I'm wiping off my fingers. Let's grab my little kitchen brulee torch. Go up high for a second. Try to just pop bubbles. Just let the heat do the thing. Let the heat do the thing. You know what I mean. Let's go like right here along this line. See what we get. And I don't know if I want a lot of cells. Maybe along this line here. So quick, I stop there. And we'll give this all a second to develop. Where else? Maybe a cup up on this edge. And some right in there. Boy, I'm being really chicken with the torch, aren't I? It's like some cool planet. The tape thing seems to be working well. Letting those cells develop a second. I might just come in closer just to one spot where I know I'm going to tilt, just to see what the cells do. Like right in here. There, that was super close. Little too heavy with the cells for me. I do like seeing the background. I'm getting the kidney shaped cells too, which is like these. Can you guys see it? These two cells here, and these here. That's a byproduct of using golden pouring medium, like store-bought pouring medium. I don't know what it is about golden, but I'm telling you, and I've been doing flip cups for years now. They always make those cells. I love them. They make me smile, but just a little feature if you haven't used it before. I'm going to take off some of this little busy stuff here. I need a little, there's a spot right here. I don't know if you guys could see it. I want to take things off. Let's see if some of the cells grow. Honestly, I'm happy with how it looks, just the way it is. But let's go take it off a little bit this way. Yeah, see, I gotta lose some paint. So the cells that formed without me asking, they're getting punished. Because I'm like, yeah, I didn't ask for you, so off you go. And then take it back the other way to retain the cell shape. Now there's still a blotch there I don't like, so hold on. We're gonna take some more off there. And then let's go the other way. Table is officially christened. Take some of these little baby cells off. A couple more here. Yeah, I just like the background so much. I don't think I want a lot of cells. There's still one little blotch. Go ahead off. I think I'm going to have to give another torch though, because it is incredibly bubbly. Maybe I call it like my champagne pour. Yeah, that's hella pretty though. I am going to torch one more time. Hopefully I don't get too many. I'm going to add a couple right in there. I'm going to go up high again to just get some more air bubbles. See if I can see them. Yep, getting the air bubbles. And then I'm going to get close right here. We'll give that a second. And, oh, I got a big bubble there. That was good. I'm trying to get bubbles. Did I get it? Did I get the big one? No. Now I got it. It was right in there. Give that a second. I'm going to wiggle this back and forth a little bit. And then the tape part. I'm kind of loving this clock though. I am. I might do the same colors again. So lift it up. I'm just going to go some off of that side. Take it over here. Oh, I can see that way. I don't like the cells at the bottom here. Off you go. I can see the hole, the divot from where the center hole is, which is right here. That's where, did I just drip in there? If I did, it matches. I can't see it. Let me wipe off my fingers. All right. Let me just take my finger and go around the edges. Since there's, you know, this is so thin, there's nothing to hold on to. So this will really be the moment of truth. I don't know if I like this one big cell. Have you guys met me? Like, I feel like this cell's too big. Let's split it into two, if we can. That's better. It doesn't bother me as much now. Okay, so the idea is to find the center. I'm like looking sideways. Give me a second. I gotta find the dead center where the hole is to stick my finger in it to hold it. The indentation of it is gone. There it is. Okay. So I'm holding on to that and pressing down really hard. And I'm going to reach underneath and I'm going to start pulling tape, hopefully. Oh, there goes the 5. You see it? Here comes the 6. So far, so good. Here comes the 7. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Oh, come on off, 7. Okay, so the little loop things on the edge of the tape, that turned out to be a great idea. There's the 8. I might have to give a puff on some of these. We'll put a skewer to the numbers. 8, 9. Here comes 10. And I gotta stop and like somehow spin this around. Maybe I just do this with my finger. So keeping my finger in the middle where the clock parts go and just pressing down really firmly. You're definitely going to want to paint, you know, on a higher cup so that you can get your hand underneath the clock if you buy these from Ikea. So there's 11. There's 12. All right, halfway there, y'all. Where's 1? Oh my God, 1 doesn't want to move. Oh, I got tape stuck underneath the cup. Oh, hold on. Technical difficulties going on underneath. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. 10, 12, 1. And there's 2. My index finger is sore from pressing so hard. Because I don't want this to move. Did I do it? Oh my gosh, I think I did it. Hold on. I'm trying to get all the tape off. Blindly too, because I can't see what I'm doing. It's all by feel. And I think it's stuck under the, is it stuck under the cup? I did it, y'all. I did it. Okay, how do I get to that? I'm gonna lift my finger. So it's gonna drain into the little thingy. I'm gonna have to lift up. And there's the tape. Put this hand under to hold it and like wiggle my way over. And you guys will get a close-up of the clock. Don't drop it. Karen, do not drop this. And I'm slowly pulling tape with my thumb and my finger. What an operation, eh? All for a clock. I could have just bought it like a cradle wood round and some numbers. It made my life easier. But I did it! Yay! Cheddar! Hold on, let me get this down. Let's put it back in the cup. All nice and safe. Okay. Holy good grief. I don't think I'm going to show that for the second clock. We'll just do the pour and I'll do it off camera. You guys get the idea. I'm going to turn this around to face me. Make sure I still like everything. I do. I do see parts of it running into the numbers. I don't think that can be helped. Let me take off my gloves. I stayed relatively clean doing that too. I got paint all over my arm. I'm gonna wipe it off. Okay, and then we're gonna grab a skewer. And then I'm just gonna use a skewer and maybe I give a puff. Like a gentle puff, not enough to mess up the design, but between a gentle puff and, good thing I put my hair back, and the skewer, I think, yep, I can clean out all the numbers. And then, I feel like this is a long video. I'm just going to do the one. I'm going to do the other one off camera so this video isn't, you know, hours long. The tape that's right here in this center, that I'm not worried about, because that I can just use my X-Acto knife and carve that out easy enough. And then I am just going to stand here, give little puffs, and use my skewer to get the paint to sink. If you don't want the paint to sink, you could leave it as is and just have the illusion of numbers. You know, personal choice. Or you could leave it covered and hide the numbers if you wanted. I've done that before. But yeah, there you go. Let me pop you down for a close-up. I still am not happy with this one spot. Hold on. I'm still going to touch it. Or I might touch it up when it's dry, because I don't want to make it muddy. Let me pop you off for a second and show you a close-up of the wet results. And then I'm going to leave this mess and walk away. Well, I'm going to do my other one. Walk away, go home, and come back. And we'll see how these dry, just sitting out open on my tabletop. Yep. Hold on one sec. Okay, guys, I'm back to do the second one after all. I was staring at the first one, and it's a personal preference. I just feel like it's too busy. I love the colors, just with the cells and the numbers and everything. It's not my preference, but I'm going to let it dry, just because I want to see what happens. And this one, I'm not going to peel the tape. I'm going to see if, as it dries, if the paint, I imagine the weight of the paint will make it sink a bit and maybe leave some numbers kind of as an experiment, and see what happens. So let's flip another cup. Well, actually, let's just save a cup and use, I think I have just enough paint to do a second one. So let's do, use the white, and let's do, I have mostly the greenish blue and the turquoise left. So let's put the colors that I'm just about out of in first. So there's the vermilion with the white. We'll dig it all out. And then the burnt sienna. That is really such a great shade. The Naples, the Naples yellow. Take all of that out. There you go. And then we'll do greenish blue, a turquoise green, and the greenish blue again. Oh, I might as well kill off the, I just killed off the blue. I might as well kill off the green. All right, so there goes all the colors. So one try and one try only. So this time I'm not going to peel tape. We're just going to leave it be and have the paint fill up the cavities. All right, bottoms up, y'all. That was a terrible flip, Karen. Give it a second. I'm not going to lip it. surprised, there was like a 1/4 cup of white. I'm surprised I didn't show up on top since it was on the bottom. All right, let's just give this a little tilt first. 2 cells showing up already. Like, we're ready, Mom. Here we are. Almost to the bottom. Trying to keep the remaining paint on top of the clock so I have some to tilt with. Kind of like that. Put it back in its little doohickey. I think there's a bunch of color under there, y'all. I do. Let's just... Oh boy, that might be a lot of cells. Let's see. One more spot. I just want, yeah, I want to get some blue cells to come up. I knew they were under there. Give those a second to do their thing. Probably going to take off this. Take off this edge here. Let's see. Let me turn it. Maybe I'll leave part of it. Let's go the other way. And go over here. I don't like how it looks over there. Yeah, no, I don't like this blue. Picky. Yeah, but I think I can get it off, so. It's like numbers? What numbers? The 2 giant cells are bugging me. You know they are. What do I do about the 2 giant cells? Good way to see how much paint is left. This one actually has cells in it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's cells. There's like a half a dozen baby cells inside this blue one. I'm not liking this color combo so much over here. I think I'm going to tilt a little bit the other way and kind of stretch things out a bit. Yeah, let's take off a whole bunch of that stuff. Like a lot. And then back. A little off the bottom, just a smidge. It's gonna bother my eyeball, y'all. Maybe put in a little island right there instead. Wiping off my finger every time. I should get a dry paper towel. Hold on. Wipe off my finger. to have those two. If it's going to be like a little feature, let's have them go in the same direction. I'm like super worried about the glare from my lights. Well, that's too dark. It's almost dark outside. That didn't work. I guess I'll know when I play this back. Let me stare at this, see if I want to tilt anything else off. It is definitely self-central. I think I kind of want to go that way a little bit more. Although I do like the turquoise cells now. So the orange and yellow at the top are kind of great. Yeah, if you're a cell lover, this will be the clock for you. I think I am going to go over just a smidge more. And then stretch them back the other way, open them all up. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. Hold on. We're just going to go that way a second. In fact, let's come down near me and take off the blue at the bottom. And then reverse course. Stretch those out. Yeah, you can come off too. Bear with me. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. I'm like all paranoid. Like, where's the camera? Where's everything? I'm trying to get to this edge right here. You see it? Like the big line. It's like the cells are all bunched up. You guys see that? Where my finger, my thumb is wiggling and off it goes. And then take it back. That really opened up all the cells. And moved the little parts where I stuck my finger. I believe 12 o'clock. Let me wipe off my fingers before I point. I believe 12 o'clock is up here somewhere. So it's lower and not as eye-catching. The colors are great though. Oh my gosh. The cells. I'm looking underneath to see if I can see where the numbers are, but it is doing the tape is doing a great job. It'll be a really cool like little experiment to see how much, as the paint dries, sinks into those numbers. If they do it all, maybe it just dries that way. I don't know. I've never done this before. This is kind of a fun experiment. I tell you what, I like this clock a million times better than the one with the numbers. Not a fan of that clock. I like the colors and everything. But if you're going to have all these cells and everything, I think it looks better and cleaner without the numbers. Personal preference. So, yep, let me pop you down for a look at this one after I tilt off that one part that's really bugging me. Let me be picky for a second. Go off. Are you going to go off? Thank you. And then back, my cells are getting out of shape, so let me put them back. Oh, I can see the middle now. See, I did that. And when I get you down for a close-up, I'll show you. I can kind of sort of see the indents of the numbers. Yep, hold on. All right, guys, I'm back with the wet results of both of these. It did take me a minute to puff and use a skewer on these numbers. I'm worried that it's dark outside and the light is directly overhead. So if I try to go, it creates too much of a glare. Let me try to turn out my lights a second and see what happens. Oh yeah, see, then no glare. But yeah, I basically have cleared out all the numbers. The one thing I did like about this is it doesn't have that, I call it the Drano Effect, where it looks like all the paint is running into the open spots and leaving like a Drano mark. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't have that, which I'm grateful for. So I do think the pulling of the tape, while it was wet, even though it was a bit challenging, worked out really well. Like, that just looks so nice and clean to me. I just feel like fluid art and clocks with numbers are just too busy for my personal taste. That said, my husband and daughter stopped by to see what I was up to for my first foray of painting in the studio. And my daughter was like, "Oh, you got an octopus. You got to add 2 more legs." So I did. So now there's a little octopus. Anyway, there's that guy. And then here's the one we just did. I am grooving on the separation of cells and how clean everything looks. It's kind of amazing to me. These colors are right up my alley, and I love all the different shades of dark blue and turquoise, and how it turned into green, all with that orange yellow background. Super cool. It'll be interesting to see how this one dries, and if it leaves an indent where the numbers are, because the tape is still under there. And I'm just going to let them go and dry right here on my countertop. No like picnic tent, no boxing, no putting on my drying table, which is underneath of this guy. And I'll come back in 2 days and check on them and see how they are and report back. So kind of an drying experiment too. So anyway, yeah, stay tuned for the dried results. Hey guys, it's Karen. I'm back with the dry results, but I just wanted to show you, I brought Finn over for the first time, and he spazzed out for a little bit. You know, he's almost 9 months old now, and he has settled down and found his spot under my table while I paint and film and everything. So, hey Finn. Hey Finn again. What you doing, good boy? Let me flip around and show you the dry results. Oh yeah, I gotta do something about that blank back wall, because I like to film facing out, and that's going to drive me crazy, but it'll come in handy for this video. So a couple things I noticed was, while filming, watching back the segment where I actually do the pour, my lighting was causing the glare on the art, and I apologize for that. Didn't know about it, so I'm gonna have to adjust my lighting, or maybe my camera angles. Or I was talking to Marla last night, and she was telling about lighting I can get to point up at the ceiling to make indirect light so there's no glare. So I'm working on that, so I apologize for all the glare in the video. With that said, it is exactly 24 hours later, and I couldn't wait. And I'm like, I want to see how things are drying for the first time. And they dried absolutely perfectly. So they're dry, but you know, I'm still careful. Here's the first one, and this is the one where I peeled the tape from underneath that whole ordeal, but it paid off. There were little spots like off camera where I would go like that and like blow it clean. I probably should have used the straw, but my mouth worked just fine. So you can really see the numbers, particularly against the back wall there, the white wall. The numbers are really showing up. And as usual, I never liked my own art at first, and this one has really grown on me. It's very beachy looking, and it's quite pretty, and I'm pretty happy with it now. I might like it better than the other one, I don't know. So this is with the tape pulled. It does make a bit of a mess on the back. I think a lot of it is peelable though, because this is plastic. And then the second one, and I'm sorry, I came in, saw that it was dry enough. And this one, I had left the tape on the back and then immediately pulled it. And I shouldn't have pulled it, because when I did, see, at first I knew the paint would just sink and just leave like an outline, like a suggestion of the number, which I prefer, because that way the spotlight is on the art. But then when I pulled the tape off, the numbers in the back, it yanked the paint with it. And so now I have gaps. So like if you look at 12 there and you see the back wall, you can see the white. So if you're going to do this and take this on, and prefer this with just like the indent of the number, wait a day or two to pull the tape. That way you won't do what I did and, you know, have gaps. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to fill in the gaps. This one dried perfectly as well. I mean, nothing, look at the cells in Lacey, nothing moved at all. So I'm super thrilled that everything, I mean, we put a giant level down everywhere. Everything in my studio is dead level, which I was happy to hear about because the building is like 40, yeah, 40, it's exactly 40 years old. So that's going to look amazing. And then the other thing I did just to show you is the hands. It comes with the white hands, and I'm like, ew. That was my reaction to both, is ew. Like, I don't like it. I'm trying to pick them up from the back. Ew. So then I went ahead and I did a terrible job, and I recommend spray paint, or you could just paint it with your hand. I used the finger and smeared some color. So first I did the Amsterdam greenish blue on this minute hand, and I feel like it's not enough contrast. It might be hard to see on the wall. Even with the other one, let me try it with the other one because it doesn't, well, it has a lot of the Amsterdam. See, like, I just don't feel it shows up enough. So then I painted the hour hand like an Indian yellow, and I was like, oh yeah. So I'm gonna play around. I'll probably do the second hand, or yeah, the second hand, and maybe like a bright orange, and then I'll decide and do all three. And then they're just going to hang out for a couple weeks to get resined and get cleaned, take the silicone off the surface. The silicone rises and sits on top. So they'll get cleaned, and then an isolation coat, and then resined and put together. And that's it. That was long for the first one, for two little clocks, right? But lots of lessons learned about my studio. I have this little Peggy collaboration coming up, so I have to do a video for that. I have a commission piece for 20 by 20. And then after those two things, I am free to go hog wild. So really happy that everything dries great. Thanks for watching this so far. I know I'm talking a lot. You guys take care. Peace and love to you all. Please check out the Fluid Art Boutique, coming to Santa Fe, New Mexico, April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We'd love to see you there. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I will be teaching a class with different recipes, how to get cells like this. So if you're interested in that, sign up. The link is in the description section. Enough commercials. I'll see you guys. Peace out.